All right. Hello, Jacob Miller. Thank you very much for coming on and chatting with me today.
Hello, and that's very all good.
Now, in case people don't know who you are, can you just give me a little bit of a background of who you are and what specifically have you got up to this year that makes you a little bit different from, say, everyone else that we might meet walking like down the road?
Yeah. So I'm Jacob, and I'm 19, and I race dirt bikes, and then as well as have a full-time job doing carpentry. And this year, I had a few ups and downs, but I've stepped in to go competitively, and now the next upcoming year, I'm going to try focus on racing pro.
Awesome, cool. All right. So, how did you make that decision?
So I've been racing since I was 13, and then this was when I was still in school, and then I was sort of I was setting goals. Had a few people train me. Like I've had a coach like Luke Reardon, and I've had all my mates like made through motocross. They've helped me through, and I made it up. Gone through juniors, made it to the top 10 junior. So I was like, I think I've got a chance to go and start racing competitively in seniors. Made it in the seniors, and I've climbed up to becoming. This year I had setbacks, so I've had due to health issues like collapsed lungs and a few ankle injuries from racing. But I was sitting around 10th in Queensland for states, and then with those crashes put back, so I never actually got scored. But yeah, now 2026 I'm looking to go race completely and go pro while still being full-time as a chippy.
Okay, so how does that look like? What's the kind of calendar that you have to maintain to be able to keep a pro level, like keep competitive in pro?
So most people, to stay at the top of they are, they will train 2 times a week on a bike and then race as well. For me, I can't go out and ride whenever I can, so I stay at work, but I will do a lot of off-bike training and continue forward with my journey to keep up with being competitive.
Okay, so then the work time is going to restrict your time on the bike, it sounds like. But it sounds like you've got a plan to stay kind of fit, healthy, and mentally prepared for each of these races. What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, so calendar sort of through work, I'm just doing 8 hours of work, and then I'll come home. I'll be cycle. So I'll cycle Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday will be gym, and hopefully if I can squeeze in an afternoon ride on either, if I don't go gym Thursday, or do ride then. Otherwise it'll be gym all week, and then a bit of running or cardio Friday, ready for traveling Saturday and racing Sunday.
And then do it all over again.
Yeah, it's a very, very repetitive, but it's all worth it when you finish on Sunday, and you're like, it's always a good weekend.
So it sounds like this is something that would require having a fair bit of support to be able to do. So
definitely.
What's kind of your support network look like?
So my family, they're all into it as much as I am. So I'm very lucky to have mum and dad on board with me. And then luckily enough to have a very good connection with mates. So if I need anything, or if they can come with me, if their family's busy. So there's always people around me that are very close, and I've got good friends, Hoffmans. They help me out a lot going. So when I sometimes want to ride, I hook them up, and then I can always go hang out and just have a good time with them and go for a ride.
So what kind of process was it when you first started racing and you started to get competitive? Were you doing any training outside of racing before, or any biking experience before?
No, all I was doing was mountain bike riding, and then I always had I knew how to ride a motorbike, And then one day it just clicked. Like one time I just saw on TV, I just saw people racing, and I was like, I want to do that. And then from there, basically, I slowly figured out what you needed to do, get a structure. And like when I first started riding, like if I was to go back now and do it, I would definitely change it differently. Like I wish I knew the structure that I could have done to get better quicker, but all it was just a lot of just had bike time on the weekends, and I ride as much as I could. And then I just slowly developed, like gain new mates, and they give you more information. And it's very good because the sport's very open. Everyone's friendly and willing to help, and like always makes it really good and fun.
So you said you'd do it differently. So I guess you're taking on board some of those differences now in the way you train and the way you approach the competition. What's some of those bigger changes that you've implemented over the years?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I definitely would have I would say 2 years ago, I wish I had the same structure as I figured out now on how to really maximize the training I do in off bike, like gym and cycling. So then, so when I get back on the bike, it's all there ready. So then I'm not taking a few laps in practice to sort of not so I can just click.
Yeah, okay, because it seems pretty good structure, right? So on the pushy, getting out gym, and then cardio, running, and then back on the bike quickly before then a race meet. So you're doing the bike last before going back on the bike. Racing.
Yeah, like you get the hang of it quickly when you've been off it's only a week, but when you're racing competitively, you got to be on your toes from the start, because you only get 10 minutes to really warm up, and then if you don't do well in those 10 minutes, sometimes you don't even qualify for the big races.
Okay, so for everyone who doesn't understand dirt bike racing and the style of dirt bike racing, because I'm sure there's a few different styles in there, what specifically is kind of the makeup of your events that you're racing in?
I'm motocross. I'm predominantly on a track. There's three main ones. There's enduro, motocross, and supercross, which I've done them all. And I predominantly race motocross, and that's just on a track, and then anyone's welcome to spectate the ground. But it's roughly, you usually get minute 30 lap times, and you race for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then so it's 40 riders, and you just go out and race to the checkered, which and then that's it, and whoever finishes first is the winner.
All right, so the mental image that I'm getting is, some big stadium in America with lots of jumps.
Yeah, that's supercross.
That's supercross. Okay.
Yeah, motocross is more. It's an outdoor, an outdoor sport. So it's more not in the stadium supercross. Yeah.
So the motocross tracks, but you getting air over these jumps?
Yes. Yeah. So jumps, turns, then rollers.
Rollers?
Yeah. So it's like there's consecutive humps. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people mess that up royally. People who know what they're doing make that stuff look so easy.
I've had my fair share of rollers, and in Supercross you call them whoops, which they're even worse. But you've had my fair share of accidents through them and injuries.
Okay, so just so I can really clarify the mental image, so we're outdoors. Is it similar kind of tracks to what you would get in Supercross? Just the
So Supercross, we call it peaky season. So peaky means that they're doubles and triples. So you take off at one point, there's a gap, and you land. But motocross is predominantly you take off and there's a filling. So it is a safer sport, but still you're traveling at speeds, which is dangerous.
So like a tabletop kind of thing, like you go it's flat and then you got a landing. So how the tracks, what kind of from the entrance of the jump to the down?
we speak. Oh, you can go. If we go meters there, roughly motocross you'd get, it'd be 20 to 40 meters like on a motocross track. Which, and then supercross we speak feet, which is predominantly you get 75-foot triples, then they're 10-foot space doubles.
Okay, so you have to hit that with speed to be able to actually get the ramp on the way down.
Yeah, we'd be traveling at about I'll be 60 or 80k an hour most of the time, and then it's all technical because then you get the ruts form and you get bumps, which make it all harder to race on, but it's all part of it. So that's what makes in the morning you get a flat track, but by the end of the day it's rough. That's what changes your average rider to your professional riders.
So knowing where those ruts are forming and how to capitalize on that for your best lap time.
Yeah.
It also seems like with another 40 riders, that seems like a very mental game. Like you're going to have riders all around you. You might not necessarily know if they're like catching up on you or their lap, maybe even.
Definitely, yeah.
So how do you deal with that pressure of like, someone right next to you?
Oh, you definitely hear them with the new age technology. You don't, because they're on electric bikes. Some are all on electric bikes, and they come up on you pretty quick. But with the general motor bike, you hear them behind you, and a lot changes. You feel pressure, so then you start thinking differently, thinking, oh, now I've got to switch on to stay in front of him. But then the next thing is like if you're not in front, you're chasing the next person in front of you. And then, by the time you know it, 20 minutes is up and you're finished. But because you go off all at once, you got to get through the start first, which is that's the biggest part. If you get through the start and get a good run off the start, then you got to keep your position and keep going.
So how do you what kind of stuff are you telling yourself when you're feeling that pressure from someone right near you, or you're trying to chase someone? Because I guess the issue with trying to chase someone or someone right near you is you potentially like overdo it. Like, you're trying to brake maybe a little bit later, trying to get on the accelerator a little bit early, which can cause all sorts of mischief in what you're actually trying to do, that technical side that you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like when I'm chasing someone, I predominantly just think on what they're doing, and then I sort of just do the little bit more. So like if they're coming into a corner and they're braking, say 2 bumps back, like say that's 3 meters or something from the apex, I just drop it by half a meter. And then if they're accelerating a little bit later, say just to line up to get out of the rut better, I'll just get on it earlier, see if I can sort of maximize what I can do to then catch up and pass them. But then if someone's behind me, I predominantly just focus on like how I'm riding and see where I can just drop that even half of a second in the corner, or like if they're catching me quick, I just predominantly think on where I can go to make it as hard as possible for them.
So like getting the best line so that someone would have to kind of take a wider line also.
Yeah. So I always would take, like as you say, the quickest, easiest line. So you just in and out. So it makes them to think, where can you go to get past? Like every time when I'm passing someone, it's always you mix it up, you play with where you go, see what mistakes they make, and then you just optimize on it and try and benefit from their mistakes. But when you start getting higher up, people start getting better, less flaws, and it's a lot harder to break people down like that. But with the Australian side of it, you definitely know where you're at, who you're riding with, and you learn how they ride. And so every weekend you always know that rider's there, and you just got to focus on just battling them. Like sometimes different tracks as well. Like you have dirt, sand. Everyone does differently on different conditions.
Okay, yeah. So then how far do you have to travel for your race meets?
So the national rounds is all over Australia. Like we like the first round's Wonthaggi, which is down in New South Wales, and then you got Canberra. Then I haven't read the next few, but yeah, they're the first two that have come out. But then, so yeah, we can go all the way down to Victoria or all the way up to Cairns.
So you like, so Saturday is travel day, like pretty much the whole
Yeah,
Saturday.
so we'd leave Friday Arvo, we'd leave, and then get there hopefully late Saturday. And it depends on where we are. Like if it's just a local round, we'll just go there in the morning on Sunday. But predominantly we try and get there for Saturday afternoon track walk, so we know what conditions we're up for, and then go racing on Sunday.
So what was the journey like from going amateur and doing it as, a fun side project to now going, I want to be serious and go pro?
Yeah, so it was like, for me, I've always been competitive. I've always tried to get through and get to the as close as possible I can to the top. So I've always had that mental aspect of what can I do to change and always improve and get that one step further. But it is life changing when you want to when you go from serious to half serious. So you switch on, and the next step for me, if I want to go states, and if I'm thinking about states, or if I want to stay at the top level, I would have to think about quitting jobs and finding people to help fund what I do. But for now, I'm just predominantly focusing on earning money and then going out and training as hard as I can in the afternoons, and then to go race on the weekends.
So do you get financial support from outside, or are you predominantly
self-funded? My family is, I'm lucky enough to have mum and dad by my side. They help me with most of my funding. So if I want, if I need some parts that I'm short on, they'd help me out, or on gear, or even entries. Entries are very costly when you're doing nationals and stuff, so they help me out with some of them.
Okay, do you got any outside sponsors at the moment?
So I got Team Metal and Nogra. They help me out massively with bikes and parts. So I get most of my stuff through them now, and they help me out a lot.
Ah, cool. So next year you'll be in the hunt for some more support, hey?
Yeah, I'm always chasing that extra support with definitely there's, I could break it down. I could ask I would tire sponsors or gear sponsors to help those aspects, so I can get them a bit cheaper instead of paying the full price for them. And even just someone, it's more people to come out and support or help on the weekends. So there's always, everyone in motocross is always chasing that extra little bit of help, so then they can go that next step. Because even though you're by yourself on the track, to get on the track, you got to have a lot more people to get you there, which some people don't have. But I'm fortunate enough to have who I have. But you're always chasing that extra help.
So what was the time frame from when you were racing, feeling pretty good as doing it as a hobby and an amateur, to then going, no, I want to go pro? How long did that journey take?
Yeah, so 2023 was predominantly, that was the year I stepped into senior, and that was when everything really changed. It hit differently, because I was junior was predominantly you just had your mum and dad, and you were just out there really. The quick kids were always the ones that had all the time off, and they kept going, and they'd done it when they were younger, but I came in a bit later than a lot of people, so I've had to switch on a lot earlier and quicker than what they had just a mellow learning curve, where I've had to really try and teach myself everything a lot quicker to get to where they are. And then to go into seniors, it's all different riders too, because everyone's a bit older. You get people that go to work, now I do, so then they're predominantly there going, just having race. Some people take it seriously, some people just go, I'm racing, gonna have fun, and then I'm gonna go to work on Monday.
Yeah.
You got to think about like you got to like get through the weekend. And some people are there, they quit their job, they're full time. They go, well, I'm here to race, to win, and to make a living out of it.
So what's the goal with your racing? What would you like to achieve?
My first goal I've set myself, which was my first jump into seniors, was top 10 in the 250 class. Which that would make me top 10 in Queensland. I'd be stoked about.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you reckon to realistically get there? What's a realistic time frame?
Yeah. So I know who's around in that area, and like 80% of them that are racing to be a top 10, they're all full-time racers, which I gotta take them into account that they're out there every day doing that. But predominantly I've just got to focus on what I can do so I can get that step further, which would be training harder. I gotta focus, switch on. I gotta try and get as much riding as I can in, stay as fit as I can, and then last the season. So then, because like this year I tried to give it a fair crack, and then I lost my points out of the series was because I had all just unfortunate events with my illness, like injuries and illnesses, and so that threw me out. But yeah, to have a good year, you got to take into account that it's a full year. You got to be in the whole time.
So with your training regime, how many hours a day are you doing training?
So I've scheduled, so as soon as I get onto my so as soon as holidays start up, I'm going to start doing a lot more. That's when I have more time off, so I can go start cycling for longer. So instead of getting home at 4 o'clock every day, I'm at home already for a full day, so I can go cycling in the morning. I can then go do gym as well the same days. I don't have to split the days. And then I could do recovery sessions, which is just stretching and going for a light cycle. So I have a lot more open possibilities when you have the full days to do everything. But then as soon as next year comes and I'm back at work, I've got to really optimize on what I start doing and to stay at the top, being fittest and healthiest as I can be, to then proceed forward in what I do. So
is there like a set time that you dedicate to training every day, like an hour or 2 or 3?
I would always, an hour and a half would be optimum at gym, and then doing a half hour run, like half an hour to an hour run or cycle to then, cool down or just keep that bit of fitness up.
Is diet part of your things that you need to be mindful of?
I'm being very fast metabolism. I just eat as healthy and as much as I can to stay at like 70 kilos. So I'm optimum for the bike weight. So yeah, it all comes into play, being how tall you are, how heavy you are. Being a bit taller than the average rider, it's a bit harder, but I've just got to optimize how heavy I am and where everything goes.
So how important would you say mindset is to your journey so far?
Massively. Like you'd look at riders and you go, how do they do it? But really, it all comes down to how fast you can adapt, what your mindset is, how far will it let you. Like a lot of riders, they'd say oh yeah, I can do that, but sometimes it's a lot harder than it looks, just because it's all mindset. But sometimes you look at an obstacle and you go, it's very overwhelming, and to commit, it's a lot different.
So what's some of the things that you say to yourself to help you stay positive and competitive?
Yeah, so it's good when I have people around me to support me, that they say oh, you can do it, you got this, and I just say I just tell myself I can do it, it's just I just got to go in, do what I normally do, I do this every other week. Sometimes if I'm at a bigger event, I just go, it's just another event, I just gotta do what I can do, and then that's all that you can do. And then you just always just strive for that bit more. Yeah, as long as you on a race day, you just stay with what you know, and then you get where you get, because it all comes hand in hand with how hard you do off the bike and behind the scenes to then what you see on a race day in just one day. Like, you're only out there for 20 minutes and 2 races, so you get 40 minutes of bike time, and that's all that matters, even though that you go out behind the scenes. We're there for 5-6 hours constantly, like, training and changing like what we can do to predominantly show off in those 40 minutes to be better.
So a can-do attitude and a really open mind. Almost like humbleness is a superpower, right? Like being willing to learn and just absorb as much as you can is a superpower. Yeah,
definitely. Like, when I first came into racing, I was like, oh yeah, like, I know, like I was starting to get a bit up myself, and then I've really learned that when you're in seniors, you got to be you got to be open, because anything can happen. Like this year, I suffered, like, wasn't even on the bike, suffered collapsed lung, and then when I got back on the bike, I just put myself in a silly mistake where I just got caught up with another rider and got injured. So I just really got to look around for things that'll stop you, because anything can stop you in your tracks. So.
Yeah, because I think the mental strength that you must have going through a race and being able to stick to your game, stick to what you've done, and not get caught up. And I know you're saying like you're trying to watch the other riders and even learn on the go, but there's fine margin for error in a lot of this.
There definitely is, like, because you're out there, like, all it takes is half a second. Like, you could blink and you're in a different spot. So adapting to what like the track is and how the track is forming, and then all in between of, like, it definitely takes quick thinking into what. In the 40 minutes that you're out there, you got to really do as good, like, best as possible, and stay in the whole series for the best result.
Yeah, so do you do like any visualizations of the track on at all before you get there?
So I like when you definitely like the key things you look for are how much water, how deep they've ripped it, so how deep are the ruts going to get, where, like, how tight the turns are. Like, if it's at a track that I've been at before and I know how it's normally prepped, it's a lot easier on, like, your mind, because you're not thinking, you don't have to adapt to what, like, a new tracker at all. So, like, say like my local is out at Kilcoy, and I've adapted. Like, I've been there, I've raced there for 5 years, and I've adapted to that track and how they prep it. So it's a lot easier for me just to go out there and just switch on as soon as I get there. But if I go somewhere new, like, I've never been to Wonthaggi, you got to go there and just adapt to it. And it's definitely, like, the locals will always do better at their local track. It's because they've had the time to ride there, adjust to it, then say, you bring a local out and do a new track, and they're definitely going to change how they ride, how they think, and how it all goes down.
Yeah, okay. It seems like things change in a moment. It's not tarmac. It's not really a controlled environment like that, because the rut's opening up. It's outdoor track. The weather playing a big impact on it. So that flexibility of the mind, is this something that you've always kind of been really open-minded and flexible?
Yeah. So, like, most motocross, like, riders, you have to be open-minded to adapt to what changes out there. But yeah, some people have really fixed mindsets on how they ride, and you can see that when you take them off their local, and you see who struggles and you see who can adapt quickly. So, like, predominantly, I can ride a hard-packed, slippery track a lot better than I can ride a soft sand track. It's because I've predominantly rode hard-packed, slippery most, like, when I train, because that's what is closest to me to ride, where going to a sand track, I have to travel further to go train that, and I don't get that opportunity to ride that a lot more than, say, someone that lives near the beach.
Yeah, so does that mean that you're online, like looking at these tracks, looking at some of the riders and doing like
Yeah,
homework as such?
I definitely, like, when I go home, like, check out what other people do to fix up, like, because my sand technique is not as good as it should be. Like, I don't sit where I should, and like there's a lot to break down when you're learning that aspect. So yeah, you try and pick up every little thing that you don't do and put it into your training that you can do on the track you have, or like off the bike as well.
So you mentioned before that you worked with a coach. What were some of the takeaways that you got from working with your coach?
Yeah. So one of my mates hooked me up with him, and they put me in. So when I first started racing, I was really, like, every second week I went to him and I just tried. He started teaching me the fundamentals of how to ride, the body positioning of like on an average track, and the quick thinking, and like all I need to look out for when I start racing. And then I started racing and just put myself out there in situations that, like, some people would say they're too early for, but the only, like, there's really no time to sit around and wait. The best thing to do is just go out there and just give it a try. So when I first started racing, it was just all trying new things and seeing what I can do to adapt and learn quicker, so I could fill in those missing times that I had when I didn't think about racing.
Okay, so so really technical stuff. He was able to help you get a lot more proficient sooner by that encouragement and sharing that wisdom with you of what he was able to learn, and giving it to you. So I guess a lot of trust there to be able to go, yep, he's successful, or he's done X, Y, Z. So when he says try something, like, just give it a go.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of trust you put into people that give you advice, and like definitely looking at the right person. Like, some people will say things and it might not be exactly right, but as long as you give them trust and you go in with an open mind, like, sometimes it could work, sometimes it couldn't. And really, I was lucky because he had fixed structures already. Like, he's trained many people before, so I knew I could come in, and he's predominantly good in that field. So he got me going, got up, and now it's just that fine little thing that, because everyone's different out there, everyone's thinking differently, everyone moves differently. So now I'm really fine tuning what I can do to benefit my style of riding, because you pick up habits, and some are good, some are bad. Like, I've definitely got bad habits of, like, when I get tired, I drop my elbows, and I hold on more with my shoulders than I should with my legs. And then predominantly, like, when I start losing concentration, I start not thinking about where I should, start braking, start like dropping it into a rut, or where I should go on a jump, and silly mistakes. I hit bumps, and just, it wears you out a lot. Like, over 20 minutes, it's like you got to go in like 100% intensity. I got to hold that. Like, I've definitely lacked that. That's why I got to do a lot more on bike and off bike training, so to keep that intensity up, so I don't lack in that focus and the real aspect of, it's just predominantly 20 minutes as hard as you can go.
Yeah, lots of nuance. Again, people, when you're watching stuff on TV, you're watching stuff online, make it look so easy. There's so much to it. It is not just jump on a bike and let it rip.
You look at, say, like Jet and Hunter. They're two Aussies that are like dominating the world right now on motocross and supercross. And you look at how they ride, and it's so effortless, and you try and pick up what they do, and then you look at how you do it, and you're like, sometimes you just look at how I ride, and I go, like, I'm really uncoordinated compared to how they are. So you try and switch on, you try and think of how they did it, you break it all the way down. It's like every thousandth of a second what they're doing, and you got to try and apply that with how you ride. So it definitely you got to come in openly minded on what you can take in and what you shouldn't, and then how you apply it.
So would you rate yourself as someone who's ambitious?
I definitely try and strive for it as much as I can do. I try and achieve as much as I can to, yeah, how I want, what I want to do, and where I want to get. So, and I try and put myself out there as much as I can, and put myself in situations that I'd go sometimes I'm not ready for, but really, like, I just give it a crack and learn from it. Like, the best learning is failure. So
yeah, powerful to understand that. Then it kind of really flips the switch on failure, right? Like if you know that the learning is in the failure, it's kind of failure isn't a bad thing. Failure is not negative.
A lot of
failure
people
is essential.
Yeah, a lot of people are sometimes scared by it, but yeah, sometimes you really gotta, I do close up sometimes when I do bad, but then when I go away, I really open up and go, really, what did I do wrong? Like in the moment, I just got heated, I closed up, and like I really try and strive for what I can do differently.
Super reflective, like having to be self-critical, but in a loving way. Because otherwise, you'd get depressed, right? Like mentally, you'd feel really shit if you went back and you're constantly really hypercritical on yourself in a negative frame.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a toll on how you think and how you want to achieve. And like sometimes you go to a race meet, you're like, I want to get to here, but there's always things that change and like are gonna set you back or put you more forwards. And so you can never go there and you always try and set a goal, but you always got to have a buffer to go, well, something like this might happen. So you always got to know, that you can't just go there to do that. You got to really, so like with the buffer, you always want to try and make it as best as possible, but sometimes some weeks you just don't have that. So
so it's like set your goal really intentional, really try your best, like pretty much own it that it's yours, and then be so humble and reflective and accept whatever happens and just
definitely
move on to the next one.
You take away and you see a lot of people do that. They go they'd go up on the podium and they'd say like, oh look, like if they're third or second, they'll be like, oh, some people are really closed, like they close up and they get really snappy and like, oh, I could have done that, I could have done this, but in the moment you couldn't, because it's all you could do. Like you don't go there and half-ass it, you go there and give it your all, because if you're half-assing it, then you could have, but no one spends that money and puts in the dedication to half-ass it.
I guess that would lead to potential like regret and again other negative mental health consequences if you not giving it your all.
Like you can make bad choices, but you try and like how I see it is I can learn from them, like silly mistakes, or I try and learn from them. And sometimes you can't, because sometimes you look at it wrong, but then you always try and optimize on what you do and do it differently or better.
So then just generally speaking to other ambitious people, you're relatively young but wealth of experience in being able to move through and get to where you have got to. So what advice would you give to other people who have a goal and it's just a goal in the sky? What advice?
I'd say set steps. Like if your goal is like a big end result, you got to set your steps. You just really narrow it down so you can achieve those little things week by week, day by day, and really set time for what you want to do. And then like not humble yourself fully, but humble yourself enough to where you are open enough to learn from others, take in what they do, and then like achieve differently, because there's always someone that's doing close to what you want to do, but you want to do it your way. Especially with like bikes and stuff, like not everyone's the same on a bike. Like we're all different people, so you got to try and do it differently, but you got to do it your way and better to be there. So taking in advice, but also like learning and giving out options of your own is the biggest thing that I do to try and change and really up my motive on how I adapt and ride and train and really achieve my goals.
All right, so take your goal, break it into steps, actionable steps that you know, so you can kind of have little achievements, micro achievements along the way.
Yeah.
So it's not just this big lofty thing in the sky. It's actually something tangible that you're doing every day, whenever it is, because then that grounds you to the actual action, because it's not the mental goal that's going to get you there. It's the dedication to the actions that are going to get you that goal. Being humble to learn, but also being strong-willed enough to have the confidence that you can learn. So you can't beat up on yourself. You have to be a friend. You can't be super timid and like, oh shit, everyone's got better than me. You still got to own your own skills and abilities.
Know who you are, like really adapt.
And that's not an easy thing. Like, know who you are. I know people that are like, you know, later in life that don't know who they are.
Yeah, like definitely, like things set you back, things change your mind all the time. Like you look at people doing something, you go, like it could be completely different to what you're doing now, and you go, shit, I want to learn it like that. I want to do it like that. And like sometimes you can't be afraid of change to do that, but at the same time, you got to know how to get there. So really, like breaking everything down, you definitely know a lot. You know a lot more when you learn a lot easier, littler, manageable tasks.
Yeah, because you don't want to kind of like throw away something that you're actually quite good at in favor for something that someone else is doing just because it seems like that's working for them. Maybe your technique really is better, or the way you do it is better, and you just got to refine it a little bit more. And
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, nothing's easy. Seems quite complicated, right?
No, everything looks complicated, but really, you just gotta, put your touch into what you do and things. It goes a long way when you have an open mindset and open ideas.
Perfect. Is that something that your parents share with you? They've you were raised in a home that values. Yeah,
they definitely always try and pick up and learn things, and cool. we always look at other people and go see what they do and break it down, and we try and make everything a learning opportunity.
Yeah, perfect. Are these races broadcast anywhere? Can anyone check you out?
On nationals, they're broadcasted on the ProMX page. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you go onto Instagram, they have the Sunshine State Series. They post updates on who wins, who lead, and the top points leaders. So I'm looking to hopefully have my name broadcasted in there this year at the Sunshine State Series.
So is there many riders who are really like self-promoting themselves and videoing the events, or are big on social media? Is
definitely a lot of it is just very Instagram, or YouTube has the big races like the ProMX.
Mm-hmm.
And then predominantly you just look up on the Instagram and you'd find a lot of the top riders and how their lifestyle. They'll have all what they do and how they achieve, and you definitely you can go on there at any time and check out what other people are doing. And
so is this something that it seems like early days, so you're really focused on the craft and getting methodical and getting that routine and habits in place so you can compete at that top level. Is marketing yourself and promoting yourself, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so it's hard. Like I sometimes I get very shy, and it's very hard to promote what you want to get to people, and reach out to people is I find it's very hard and daunting. Like sometimes I step back and go like, I think about, am I good enough to be like, to what I'm asking, and like, do I give enough to what they can give back? So predominantly you think of that and you try and optimize and break through, and that's what's good with the bike shop, because we've been to that bike shop for over 7 years now, and we've learnt all the ins and outs, and like they can give what we give, and we try and promote them as much as possible out on the track. We've got their quick shades all over my bike of what I use, so I predominantly you try and support what they do as much as how they can support you.
So that relationship started with you being a customer with them first and foremost, and building a nice relationship with them, looking after your bikes and equipment. And how did you go about asking for?
It was a big step. Like we started to get friends with the sales manager, and then we asked him. We said, "Hey, like, what could you do for us? Like, we come in here, we come in there weekly, basically, to go get parts. We get new bikes like every 1 or 2 years. We go like, hey, how can you give back so we can give you more? Say on like other aspects, on like promoting sales, not just giving them straight money." So we were good enough to get hooked up with called a race plan. So we can get 20% off. It's a tier 4 deal we get. So then they give us discounted stuff, and we promote it on the tent that we got on our quick shade where we park. So whoever walks past in the pits sees that we support this person, and like anyone can go reach out to that person, because we show them like what they do. They're in this sport. Same as like we get suspension through promotion, and that we've got that on our suspension, and that's on our bikes, and all the gear that I run is all on the side of my bikes. It's on me, like, and yeah. So we try and we show what we give, and then we go out on the track. And obviously, if you come first, it's even better, because then you get all the broadcasting on you, and everyone's looking at what you have. So you try and do your best, and then give out as much as you can for what they can give you.
So is that like a formal contract in like that, or is it like a pretty standard like agreement that they do with a few other riders around?
With the Yamaha at Team Moto, we've got a formal agreement. So we've got they officially give us, like, we've got that tier 4 deal, and then we do other when we do our suspension, we've just got agreements that like we'll just support you, like with putting your name out there for you to get more sales, and then we'll just get this back in return. But a lot of people do that. Like they'll have formal or informal agreements to getting what they need to have what they have, and go that step further with what they do.
So what's been the biggest challenge so far?
I'd definitely just say trying to go away from a meet and maximize what I can do off the bike. Like motivation, sometimes you don't always feel like going out and doing going out and gym, cycling. Like sometimes, like, you get home, you're tired. Like you gotta try and maximize what you can do in what your mindset wants you to do. So I struggle with that sometimes, and then like setbacks. Like I've had like setback with a collapsed lung. Like I've lost a lot of fitness. I've got to try and gain all that back. It's really takes a toll when you know you could have done it before. Like I could go out and go for a 7K run without puffing, where now I've got to try and build up and go for that run and make it look effortless again.
Yeah, a lot of commitment too. Like a lot of commitment through it all. So if someone wants to check you out or follow you on socials?
Yeah, so I've got my own Instagram page, and then I've tried and post as much as I can on what I do, and my behind scenes, and what I do, like when I'm at the races, and how I go. That's all on my socials, which is jacob.miller@260.
260?
Yeah.
That's your race number?
Yeah, so 260 is the race number. So yeah, Jacob Miller 260, and then you'll see it will be the first one that comes up.
So at jacob.miller260.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can all check you out and see your progress.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having this chat with me, Jacob.
No, it's all
I know
right.
that you're
Anytime.
busy and you got a lot of stuff on, so I really appreciate it. It's really interesting for me to see kind of the journey and the mindset that goes along with it, because you've had to do stuff different to your peers. You've had to be confident in being different in a lot of ways. So I admire your strength to see it through and to take the action to get you to where you are. It's quite an achievement just to even be able to, even just getting into these leagues is quite an achievement.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, it was a pleasure telling you about what there really is behind the scenes and what there is to do and what does go on in a ambitious motocross rider and what they do. It's a pleasure anytime.
Thank you, Jacob.